Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Storytime with Charis. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd like to encourage you to do so. Click on the subscription button as well as the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video. So last week we began a new story titled Daisy and the Trouble with Maggots by Kes Gray, and we stopped at chapter 5. That means today we will be continuing from chapter 6. So like I always say, I encourage you gather your little ones, get your drinks, your snacks, settle back, settle in, and get ready to enjoy this story time session. Chapter 6. When I got to school on Thursday, I thought Harry Bayliss and Jack Beachwhistle were in there at first, which was good because I was getting really fed up with them being experts on fishing. Trouble is, they were hiding behind the wall, waiting to jump out on me. "Don't fish near the bridge, whatever you do," they said. "If you fish near Paper Mill Bridge, the water troll might get you." "A water troll lives right under a paper mill bridge. Didn't you know?" said Harry. "The trouble with water trolls is they eat fishermen and fisher girls. Or if they're not hungry, they make you into slaves." Jack Beachwhistle said that one Sunday he was canoeing on that paper mill bridge when this giant hairy hand with webbed fingers came right up out of the water and tried to grab him by the life jacket. Luckily, he had a whistle on his life jacket for emergencies, so he blew it and the water troll was frightened away. I said a troll will never be frightened away by a silly old whistle, but Jack said that the echo under the bridge made the whistle sound 100 times louder. Trolls don't like really loud whistles, especially water trolls with webbed ears. At first, I didn't believe in water trolls, but then Jack Beachwhistle told me a really scary story about a little girl called Androlina who got captured by the actual water troll under Paper Mill actual bridge. He didn't eat her though. He made her into his slave. This is what Jack Beachwhistle said had happened. Androlina was a 7-year-old girl who looked really like me. She had the same hair as me. She had the same hair as me and the same face as me and everything. She lived in the village and was very poor. So one day, to earn some extra pocket money, she got a job doing a paper round, delivering newspapers and magazines to houses right by the river. The trouble with houses right by the river is you can't cycle to them because there are no roads to cycle on or anything. There's only river. So instead of doing her paper round on her bike, Androlina had to do it in a canoe instead. One day in the really snowy water, Androlina was canoeing towards Paper Mill Bridge when her canoe struck an iceberg and sank. Here is Androlina right here in her canoe. And here is the iceberg that she struck. That's the trouble with icebergs. They sink everything. Trouble was, she still had loads of newspapers and magazines to deliver. So she grabbed all the newspapers and magazines before they could get wet, held them up above her head, and decided to swim to all the other houses instead. The trouble with swimming under Paper Mill Bridge is that's where the water troll lives. The trouble with swimming under Paper Mill Bridge with both hands above your head is it makes it really easy for a water troll to grab you. So Androlina got grabbed by webbed hands with hairy wats on. But luckily, the water troll had already eaten about 8 people in canoes for breakfast. So Androlina got made into an underwater slave forever instead. Harry Bailey said that because I look just like Androlina, the water troll was bound to try and grab me too if I went near the bridge with my Uncle Clive on Sunday. I said my Uncle Clive would save me, but Harry said that water trolls ate Uncle Clive's for breakfast and dinner and tea. Jack Beachwhistle said, maybe I should use myself as bait when I went fishing with my Uncle Clive. Then I could see if I could catch the water troll. Then I could set Androlina free. But I didn't really want to catch a water troll with my Uncle Clive. I'd much rather catch a skimmer bream. Chapter 7. By Friday, I wasn't really sure I wanted to go fishing with my Uncle Clive anymore. I wasn't scared of the water troll or anything. It's just that when I found out about the underwater witch mermaid who lives at the bottom of Paper Mill River in a sunken, haunted canal boat covered in cobwebs that don't dissolve, I kind of went off the idea of going fishing for a while. Jack and Harry told me about the underwater witch mermaid and the spells she casts on people with her evil underwater fishing rod. Jack Beachwhistle said she'd been living at the bottom of Paper Mill River ever since the Second World War. That's when her canal boat got torpedoed by a submarine. The trouble with torpedoing and sinking a witch mermaid's canal boat is it makes the witch mermaid's powers eviler than ever, especially if her fishing rod turns into a wand with underwater haunted torpedo powers. Harry Bailey said that when the torpedo blew up the witch mermaid's canal boat, all the forces from the explosion went straight into the end of her fishing rod and her fingernails and her gumboils, which made her the powerfulest underwater witch in the world, and crossest, and ugliest, and nastiest. Apparently, the underwater witch mermaid that lives at the bottom of Paper Mill River is so cross and so ugly and nasty, she turns fishermen into dog poos. For no reason. That's what Jack Beachwhistle said. And Harry Bailey's. At first, I definitely didn't believe them. But Jack Beachwhistle swore on his action man's life that I would see actual dog poos on the actual riverbank at Paper Mill Lock. Actual dog poos in the exact same places where the fishermen were standing when they got turned into dog poos by the witch's evil pooey spells. Harry Bailey said it was definitely true, and that sometimes if you put your ear right up close to some of the dog poos at Paper Mill Lock, you can hear the voices of the fishermen and fisher girls trapped inside. After that, I went right off the idea of going fishing. I went right off the idea of going fishing all through Friday morning assembly, all through Friday morning lessons, all through Friday morning break, all through Friday morning lunchtime. I didn't even eat my cheese spread sandwiches. All through Friday afternoon lessons, and all the way back to the school gates where my mom was waiting for me after school. That was when Mom told me that Harry Bailey's and Jack Beachwhistle were lying. They'd been lying about everything all week. Chapter 8. The trouble with liars is they should be made to go to prison. In fact, liars who tell lies about fishing like Jack Beachwhistle and Harry Baylis should have to go to prison for about 300 years and be made to eat peas every day until they turn green and their lips fall off. When my mom told me that Harry and Jack had been winding me up about fishing all week, I was so cross I nearly kicked a lamppost. Then, when my mom told me I was a poopy head for believing their silly stories in the first place, I did kick a lamppost. But then I wish I hadn't. That's the trouble with kicking lampposts. It really hurts. My mom said she didn't think Harry or Jack knew the slightest thing about fishing. And if I wanted to know about fishing, then the only person I should be listening to is my Uncle Clive. She said there were absolutely no sharks or whales or trolls or mermaids or water witches in Paper Mill River at all, and that if there were, she would use her magical paper mill picnic powers to fight them off. She told me that Auntie Sue had a magic picnic hamper that had been given to her by a white wizard when she was a little girl. Inside Auntie Sue's magic picnic hamper, there were all the picnic weapons you could ever need to do battle on the riverbank with water trolls, water witches, water monsters, or any other water baddies that came along when you were fishing. Inside the hamper, there were exploding sausage rolls, walkie-talkie, mini rolls, poison gas sandwiches, and a thermos flask that fired long-range missiles. Plus, there was orange squash that made you invisible when you drank it. And emergency boiled eggs that protected you with the force field when you peeled off the eggshell. Except there wasn't, because now she was winding me up too. That's the trouble with moms after school. They think they're so funny when they're not. See, moms are laughing. Chapter 9. I was still really cross with Jack Beachwhistle and Harry Baylis when I went to bed on Friday evening. In fact, I was so cross, I nearly didn't let my mom read me a bedtime story, and I nearly didn't give her a goodnight kiss. But I did in the end, because bedtime stories and goodnight kisses are really important for my mom. When I woke up on Saturday morning, I was kind of cross mixed with really excited. But about just after breakfast, once my Cocoa Pops had gone down, I was mostly excited and hardly cross at all. That's because I was going fishing. Not that day, the next day. But I was still really excited because even though it was only Saturday, I still had to get ready to go fishing. The trouble with getting ready to go fishing is, if you haven't been fishing before, you don't know what to wear. I thought I would definitely have to wear wellies, but my mom said that as it was going to be such a hot day on Sunday, I would be better off wearing my trainers. So I put my trainers by the front door. "What trousers shall I wear?" I asked. "Wear your oldest pair of jeans," said my mom. So I put my oldest pair of jeans by the front door. "What t-shirt shall I wear?" I asked. "Wear your green one with the yellow stripes," said my mom. So I put my green t-shirt with the yellow stripes by the front door. "What jumper shall I wear?" I asked. "Take your red hoodie with the zip," said my mom, "just in case it gets chilly later." So I put my red hoodie with the zip by the front door. "What socks shall I wear?" "You choose," said my mom. So I put my favorite football socks on the pile beside the front door, plus 2 pairs of trainer socks in case it got chilly later. Then I added my wellies just in case I fancied a paddle, and the red bucket from the shed to put the fish in. The trouble with putting a pair of wellies, a bucket from the shed, a pair of trainers, a pair of jeans, a t-shirt, a red hoodie, and 3 pairs of socks in a pile by the front door is when someone rings the doorbell, the door gets wedged when you try and open it. To the pile of stuff. Because your pile of fishing things is in the way. At first, when I pulled the door back, it opened a little bit, but then one of my wellies folded over and got jammed underneath. Then my bucket handle sort of got stuck underneath the hood of my hoodie. And then the belt of my jeans got jammed around the bucket handle, which wasn't my fault. It was the postman's fault, really, because if he had put our letters through our letterbox instead of ringing our doorbell, I wouldn't have had to try and open the front door in the first place, and my fishing clothes wouldn't have got squashed. Mom said it wasn't the postman's fault. It was my fault. She said postmen aren't allowed to bend big letters in half, so he had to ring the doorbell. After she'd unjammed the front door and got the big letter from the postman, she made me take my pile of special fishing things upstairs and put them on the end of my bed. Not including my red bucket, because the bucket had got dirty in our shed. That's the trouble with our shed. My mom is far too lazy to clean inside it. After I'd put the bucket in the kitchen, Mom said it was time we went to the supermarket to buy all the things we'd need for our picnic. I love buying picnic things, especially picnic things to go fishing with. Chapter 10. Okay, the trouble with supermarkets is they're useless. I mean, why don't they put the Scotch eggs next to the crisps? Why don't they put the crisps next to the lemonade? Why don't they put the lemonade next to the spicy chicken wings? And the spicy chicken wings next to the baby bells? I mean, why don't supermarkets put all the important fishing-y picnic things together under one big high-up sign that says Fishing Picnics? If I was the manager of a supermarket, I'd throw all the soaps and shampoos and pet food in the bin and put all the picnic things together on one massively long giant shelf. Like you see here, a massively long giant shelf. Mom said that maybe I should save up my pocket money and buy my own supermarket. Then I could put whatever I wanted on the shelves. And I could be the supermarket manager. And I could use the bleepy thing that they used to swipe your shopping with at the till. I'd love to have a bleepy thing of my own. I'd bleep every single thing in my house. Mom said if I had a bleepy thing at home, she'd end up doing a few blips of her own. But the trouble with supermarket bleepy things is there's nowhere you can buy them. You can't even buy them in a supermarket. When we got home with our shopping, Mom let me help her put all the picnic things into the cool box, ready for the next day. I squeezed as many of my favorite things in as I could. Once I'd filled the cool box right to the very top, I asked if I could put it on the end of my bed with my clothes. But Mom said, "No way." I think she thought I would eat it all in the night, but there's no way I would have. Not all of it anyway. I'll put the cool box in the kitchen. I'll put the cool box on the kitchen table, Daisy, she said. Our picnic will be a lot safer there. The trouble with putting cool boxes in the middle of kitchen tables is it makes you want to keep checking the picnic things inside. You know, to see if we've forgotten anything, or to see if there's room for another bag of crisps, or a baby bell, or half a sausage roll. Trouble is, I had to climb onto a kitchen chair to reach. The trouble with climbing on kitchen chairs to reach the lids of cool boxes is the legs on our chairs are a bit wobbly. They're a bit wobbly. Mom says that's because I keep swinging backwards and forwards on them like a monkey instead of sitting at the table like a proper little girl. But I reckon they're badly made chairs. The trouble with badly made chairs is if you stand on them and reach and stretch, the legs start to wobble. And if you start to wobble too, they wobble even more. And if you wobble and stretch and lean too far, a chair leg might fall off. Actually, definitely will fall off, which means the chair will fall over. And you will fall over too, onto the kitchen floor with a loud bang crash and an ouch and a crunch, which isn't your fault. It's the chair leg's fault. I mean, chair legs aren't meant to fall off. They're meant to stay on. But the trouble with chair legs is they can't speak, so they won't own up. They won't. They won't own up. So you get the blame. When my mom found me sitting on the kitchen floor with the chair leg in my hand, she guessed what I'd been trying to reach. So she put the cool box right up high on top of the kitchen cupboards where I could barely even see it, which meant I couldn't touch it until Sunday, or sniff it until Sunday, or anything it until Sunday, which made me cross all over again. It made me so cross, I did one of my special frowns all through Saturday afternoon, all through Saturday tea time, all through Saturday evening, and right up to the time I had to go to bed, which wasn't my fault either. Daisy is incorrigible. We'll be stopping at chapter 10 for this week. I hope you enjoyed my reading. I hope you enjoyed Storytime with Charis. And I hope you join me again next time. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Have a great, great day.